And we're back. Now, the next class they deal with is known as the Walkon. And the Walkon is very much a wild mage character. They only go up to 6 level spells. They have some of the druid characteristics. They literally a wild shape. They are arcane spellcasters, but they have a very nature-focused aspect to the class. And I kind of understand that the idea that you're tapping into the arcane power of the world, and that it's rawer, wilder, less structured. I get that, and I think it's interesting. And again, I think it's really going to take the focus of the campaign. If you're running that kind of a character, are you going to want to be involved in a lot of the things that, for example, the Peshwa, the horse nomads, would prefer to do, as opposed to, say, again, the noble, who is going to be more of a court character? So to me, it really seems like there's a divide here, that on one side you have a lot of outdoorsy, naturey kind of characters being pushed in one direction, and the other side of the divide you have people being pushed towards more of the, high court kind of an environment. And I don't know if you could have the groups on either side of this divide, the characters on the other side of this divide, in the same party and really enjoy yourself, because you're going to be trying to have your feet in 2 different places, and that's never good in my opinion. But the class, other than that, does function. So I have no problem with it. If that's your focus, you want to play kind of a wild mage and an arcane caster, go for it. Then we have some new skills descriptions and new feats. A number of the feats are very much aimed at the Peshwa and the arcane warrior, about improving your ability to use armor when you're casting spells, and a lot of mounted stuff. And again, if you're not going to have an outdoorsy, adventuring kind of environment with lots of riding, taking advantage of your bond with your horse and your ability to do acrobatics and archery and lots of combat from horseback, these feats may not be very useful to the group. And we have prestige classes. The Dokre Outlook, which is all about the little halfling racial class essentially becoming very good at protecting its people, kind of like a dwarven defender in some ways. The Dragon Knight. The Dragon Knight is very much you are a knight. And the class grants you, first level ability in this class grants you a set of armor that becomes bonded to you. Literally, it bonds to your body forever. You never take it off. Now, I don't know if the people that wrote this have ever put armor on, but you can't pee in it, you can't poo in it, you can't have sex in it. Excalibur, the movie notwithstanding. That seems dumb. Now, I would, for example, say you bond with the armor, and then as an at-will ability, you could summon it or make it go away. So you, boom, and you're in your armor, you go do your adventuring thing, and when you're done with the adventuring, you snap your fingers, and the armor disappears until you need it again. Not a problem. The only suit of armor you can have, you can never get any better suit of armor. You can improve it because the class gives you an ability to improve your armor class over time. But that would be a much better way of doing that, in my opinion. Having somebody stuck in a set of armor, not to mention you look like you're in armor all the time, this doesn't seem to be a wise decision. Elven Elementalists, which are all about becoming very focused in your elemental powers as an Arcane Caster, and they're using 6 schools of elementals: the earth, air, water, fire, wood, and metal, which is fine. 6 works, kind of an Asian Chinese thing going on there. I think some of the requirements are a little high. Some of the prestige classes in here, it seems like their skill levels, like you need 10 something or 12 and something. That means you're not really getting into these classes until you're a later level. I'm a little. I like people to be able to get into there around 5th and 6th, not 7th and 9th. Fey Lord, which is about improving your connection with the Fey world, if you're an elf. The Inquisitor, which is more about the whole concept of supporting the idea of the Cabal and their official sanctions and arcane control. The Sightless Sister. Now, the Sightless Sister is a class which makes perfect sense in the world of D&D if there were no healing. For example, if the Sightless Sister class existed out here in our world, and this class allowed a blind person to get blind sense, blind sight, and get very good at surviving in a world when they don't have eyes, it would be beautiful. Blind people would all take it. It would mean that they would not be helpless. But in a world with magical healing, I don't understand why this class exists. It makes no sense. Who is going to focus themselves on a prestige class with the application of a single spell to cure their blindness? And suddenly the class is not only superfluous, but you lose access to all your class abilities because now you have sight. So again, it confuses. It's nice flavor. It's cool. It would be great in a world that had no magical healing. But in a world with magical healing, this class seems very strange. Then we have the Spirit Warrior, which is a warrior that nice connection to nature. You get the spirit guide. It's a very Native American feel here. Very good at making protection from the spirit world itself while being connected to the spirit world, which is nice. What I thought was funny in this is that your spirit guide is a class feature that only you can see. So if you're Bob, the spirit warrior, and you're talking to your spirit guide, people are going to be looking at you like, Bob, who are you talking to, Bob? There's no one there. People may well think you're a little crazy. And then they have a spirit guide stats very much similar to a familiar. So if you understand that, you're okay. Next, they have a whole section about magic. Now, as I said before, the officially sanctioned arcane organizations are the Cabal. If you're not part of the Cabal, you're a renegade. So if you're a sorcerer, or you're any kind, or a Walkon, or you're any kind of arcane caster that is not part of the Cabal, you are on the outside. And if you are known to be practicing publicly, you can be excommunicated, you could be arrested, you could be fined, jailed, or possibly executed. To me, the Cabal is an organization of the bad guys. It is not an organization that good guys would be a member of. I am completely and utterly opposed to organizations that infringe upon people's civil liberties. Utterly. It is a personal thing. I consider a violation of human rights. So for me, this kind of officially sanctioned organization that has to keep things under control is not something that player characters would be involved in. It is not something that I would want to run as a group of good guys. So I don't remember it from the original Blackmoor world, but it's here. And there's a spell in here, it's named like Discern class or something, which allows the spellcaster to know what class the people around them are. Now, no one in the world knows what class they are. I, in the real world, am probably an expert. I don't call myself an expert. I call myself a person that works in a factory. Okay? This spell gives the character knowledge that only the player should have. That bothers me. Then we have more than I can get to at the moment. So, gotta be a three-parter.